Hello everyone and welcome back to Bingothon Ukraine Emergency Relief. You may find a link to donate to Project Hope to support the emergency response in Ukraine right below the stream. But here we are right now with Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer 10 Flag Discovery Blackout Bingo with Xemsys versus Cleanfel. So that's enough from me for now, so take it away.
Hello, friends and folks. My screen name is Covert Muffin, and we have a treat for you today. We're going to be featuring Xem versus Clean in a friendly race for the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer. But we are going to be doing bingo. Normally, we have like a constraint, and then we do the final escape. But for this, we are going to be doing Blackout Bingo, which means that we're going to cover every single square on the board. But join with me on comms for this is 2Kill, but why don't we give a friendly hello to our two runners who are joining us for this introduction. Hello, Clean and Xem. How are you feeling about this seed?
There's just so many things that could happen. I'm just wondering which one it's going to be. I'm doing pretty well, though.
We've already theorized the worst way is the seed controllers, and hopefully are prepared for that. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, indeed. So 2Kill, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. I'm very excited for this race because we have two excellent runners of the randomizer. Clean just took victory in a tournament we held, and Xemsys has the most hours in the bingo of anyone in our community. So this will definitely be great to see for us as commentators and hopefully also you as viewers.
Yeah, so Clean, one question to you before we send you off. Is there one flag that you're most excited about out of this goulash of flags you would pick today?
I love limit keys. Limit keys is just so fun.
Classic.
You're just like, who needs the hints? Just go to all the trees anyway, and you'll find hopefully, all the keys dungeons you need.
Yeah, indeed. All right, Xem, for you.
Well, leaving sign at home is always a fun experience and has never backfired ever. So looking forward to that.
Yep, so the base attack weapon that we normally have for the game sign, we are not going to have that. It's literally modded out of the run itself. So this is going to bring in a bunch of unique glitches in the run itself that our runners are going to have to utilize. So we will see that happen. But anyways, good luck, Clean and Xem, on your seed, and we'll see you after.
Thank you very much. Can't wait.
Cool. All right, but as we ship our runners off out of the voice channel, we are going to get underway. So for Ori runners, we have a bunch of additional flags that we can attach onto the randomizer. We're going to be utilizing expert logic, which is going to be sort of an advanced level of things. So this randomizer may expect some really unique tricks. It is going to be open, so some doors are going to be open as we go through. Then we have wall, grenade, and teleporter starved, so those are less likely to show up at the start. And then it is on limit keys, which has dungeon keys to get access to dungeons in very specific places. Signless, so there's no sign on the map. And then our runners are going to be running specifically Discovery Hard Bingo. So we're only going to see 2 squares for the bingo board to start. And as our runners complete one of those objectives, it'll branch off and open up more as we go through. But that being said, it looks like we are good to get started.
Yeah, and we already see 2 of our squares touch this map altar Blackroot and level up this ability Ultra Stomp. Both squares not really easy. Touch this map altar might sound easy, but without sign, our runners have to utilize some interesting strategies, but they get enough XP to use a level up to get those brambles out of their way, because if you don't have sign, you don't really have a way to get rid of these. So very heads of play from both our runners, as this is the one non-randomized pickup they will pick up. Normally we would get sign at its vanilla location as well, but our runners will utilize Alt-R before getting that, so no sign for either of them. And there is the dreaded bash.
Okay, yep, and so no sign for us, but this is actually really good news for our runners. There's 2 more pickups that are currently in logic. Oh no, the 2 key door is open. Oh man, it's open mode. So we have a lot of keys, but as you can see, our runners cannot attack these. So Clean on the right is going to be utilizing Bash to break these spores, while Xem just takes a damage boost and gets through them very nicely. But there is no pickup here because we don't have sign. So Xem is going to place a save and then reload, which will spawn the pickup. And it is a health cell, which is going to be very, very nice for our runners. But also, I believe the second pickup up there is not spawned. And because we don't have energy right now, we can't actually get access to it unless we teleport back to the start using a modded functionality known as Alt-R that we saw Clean do to just refill his energy on this spirit well.
Yeah, lots of shenanigans already happening. We already see a road divergence for our runners. Of course, in the early game, they can't really go for the goals they need to fulfill because they can't move around the map freely. This is still a Metroidvania, so we need to find some basic skills to move around. Bash is most arguably the most powerful skill in the game, so it allows a lot of stuff, especially in the expert preset, which gives a lot of the map free from the start. We can see Sam utilizing double bashes to allow himself to follow him, the projectile he's choosing, and Sorrow Teleporter. That will be very nice for the late game.
Yeah, Sorrow Teleporter, especially for Bingo, is really nice because it opens up a huge portion of the map. It is open mode, but there still, I believe, is a blue wall in the way that stops our runners from being able to get access to left side. But Xem is making nice progress through Spirit Caverns, and I just have to say, like, this is the scariest aspect of Signless for me, is that our runners, if they don't find energy cells, they're not going to have a really easy time for being able to play safety saves. So if Xem takes a death, he's going all the way back towards that first pickup outside of the 2-key door. It's just, it cannot be stated enough how dangerous this preset mode is. But we have two of the most experienced randomizer runners in the entire community here showcasing off, so I'm sure they're going to be fine. And Xem finding that energy cell is going to be placing a save as Cleanfel on the right is following his tracks, coming into Spirit Caverns to get that Sorrow TP and other resources before traveling down towards Wall Jump Tree.
Yeah, and so far we haven't really found progression. The Sorrow TP is nice and everything, but it does not allow any form of progression because we can't utilize it. There is a wall next to it that we need to destroy with some other skill. So yeah, we have talked about the most horrible thing that could come up, and that involved a bash start. And let's keep an eye on the left as Xem finds some new pickups, but it could be happening. But there's invincibility.
Yeah, it's a bonus skill that I guess makes you invincible. So we're going to see if there are going to be certain shenanigans. Xem is going to actually double bash this Frankie on the left, take it up, and then this one rock in the game, for whatever reason, is bashable, where the other rocks are actually not. But Xem now has to decide if he wants to try and go through the spores. He is going to opt to not to. I like this decision without sign before they are potentially going to progress down towards Wall Jump Tree, as we see our runners pause up really quickly.
Yep. I'm sure we will get back into the action fairly soon, but yeah, I think we as a community are very grateful to have this opportunity to show off this randomizer and the bingo. There has been a lot of heart and soul poured into it, and being able to make use of that is just very nice. So thanks Bingothon for giving that opportunity to us.
Yeah, for sure. And like bingo is one of those formats as well that is underrepresented within the community, especially. Like we have a really strong and thriving randomizer community in general around Ori, especially. But like bingo definitely is something that does not get a lot of sort of like time in terms of our spread throughout the entire community. So getting to see, especially in a marathon setting like this is very exciting for both of us to be able to witness this.
Yeah, and I can imagine that especially Xem is happy to show off his knowledge, because he is the most knowledgeable person, maybe besides Eiko, who wrote the bingo mostly to play this. And I think both will just be very happy to be racing against each other.
Okay, and as our runners continue to get underway, Clean on the right is going to be the first one to make some of the checks down here, checking this keystone. No, it's just a keystone, right. Zem on the left is going to be the first to make it down to Wall Jump Tree, and this must have some form of progression, but there also is one other pickup, I believe, that is in logic that is not this tree. So if they have to do the Fronkulor in order to utilize Bash to get over there, it'll be interesting to see them work through that. But Clean on the right, are they going to risk the damage boost? They are, but they get a level up breaking those spores. But fortunately, we have Frankies around here. We have the stone that we saw Zem use. So Clean definitely still has tools that they can utilize in order to be able to progress through the seed itself. But Zem on the left is going to be alt-Ring out, not finding anything important on that tree. It is going to be, the second keystone pickup 2-kill. Oh my goodness.
Yep, and also found a mapstone, I believe, on the tree itself. So that is a turn-in. The mapstones kind of work progressively, so no matter where you turn that first one in, it will always give you the same thing, and so on and so on. So he will make sure to get to that mapstone altar in Sunken Blades and turn it in, because it is randomized after all. As Cleanfel also approaches his first tree, this is definitely a possibility to show up on the board, and now we have 6 keystones. So Xem could decide to go to the 4 keystone door. I don't believe it's in logic, but it is definitely possible with the double bashes that he has been shown off. So and it looks like he will lure the Frankie once more to gain access to that Spirit Caverns area, as Clean is kind of trailing a bit behind. But of course, depending on what the goals are and what our runners need to do, this could swing either way.
Yeah, I like this play from Zem, right? He knows that Charge Flame Tree is a tree that he can get access to, and there is a square that is to get and activate skill locations, which are these trees that are around the map, irregardless of whether or not they have skills on them, because this is indeed an item randomizer, which basically means that the pickup locations are all the same. However, they may actually end up having pickups at them, and Zem is doing some silly double bashes here to potentially lure the shot over in order to get the 100 EXP pickup, I believe. That is going to be right over here. Or no, he's going to use it for a cutscene skip, I believe. I actually didn't know this was possible. That's amazing.
And on the right, Cleanfel found progression in the form of 4th energy at the Long Flippers pickup right next to start. There was a refillable Mega Health to allow him to get there. The shot despawned on Xemsys sides, but he was able to go over the teleporter. Normally, we would have Sign explain some lore to us there, but we do not have Sign. That cutscene still exists, however, as Xem is using that. Frankie gets 10 experience for his travel, not quite what he's looking for, as Cleanfel is also now approaching Spirit Caverns. And just to reiterate, the 2 starting squares really aren't optimal for the start. They don't really have a good possibility to get to either of those objectives, because both require a lot of ability points, and you can see both of them are on 1 or 2 currently, so not really the way to go right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's currently impossible to do either of these right now, right? We don't have the ability cells for the Ultra Stomp. We don't have a way to get into Blackroot Burrows, which is really funny. But now we're going to have to see, is Zem going to potentially find that 4th energy cell that we saw Clean pick up, or are they going to continue digging around throughout the map? And how long are people going to put off the Frankie Walk pickup, which is probably the one that's still easiest in logic? But no, Zem on the left is going to go for this pickup. Long Fake Flippers finds the 4th energy cell. And are they now going to go Glazer, or are they going to go through Death Gauntlet to be able to get access to a new area?
Xem showing off the 4 energy, I think he knows what he needs to do next, and is dreading it a bit, because funnily enough, if you don't have Sign, there are also some enemies just don't spawn, and namely the 2 you use in the old skills route that is most commonly run is just not there. But it looks like he will indeed go for this Glazer pickup. This is, of course, a very creative name made up of glades and laser, the glades laser, Glazer, as Clean also picks up his charge flame tree. Of course, not giving them charge flame because this is the randomizer after all, as Xem on the left is using that Frankie to propel that stone a bit further.
Is I'm doing a good job making sure to bash the Frankie slightly up, if not horizontal, onto the block itself. If you actually bash the Frankie downwards, you can actually accidentally slip the Frankie underneath the rock, popping the rock up just enough for the laser to peek through and end up melting your face off. So Xem doing a very, very nice job of controlling that. But now, Xem is actually going to have to utilize this Frankie. And fun fact, before the definitive edition of the game came out, adding Blackroot Burrows in, there was a vanilla version of Ori and the Blind Forest where there were no Frankies that we use in the definitive edition to be able to do Frankie Walk. And so we see Clean now trying to get a Frankie underneath. But runners used to have to do a level up glitch doing this exact thing that we see Clean attempting to do with this Frankie. And now you have to get far enough away from the Frankie in order to get it to do a short hop. If you're too slow, it will do a large hop, as we see on Cleanfel's side. So Clean may just want to bash the Frankie once to be able to get through, but oh no, just slightly out of position. So this is an incredibly difficult glitch, and there are going to be moments where that it is going to be especially difficult for our runners.
Yeah, we have mentioned that there was this one path both runners didn't want to see. Yeah, this is the path. So they need to get that Frankie in because they don't have any wall interaction to climb that wall. So they need the Frankie. And yeah, both runners trying this at the same time. It will be a matter of who gets it first for that early advantage right now. But Xem getting it here. But the hard part is getting it over these spikes and then not dying to it yourself. But both, luckily, at 7 HP can do some damage tanking, as there are some double bashes. Okay, very nicely done. On the side of Xemsys, as Clean is still struggling with that short hop. It is really precise. You need to get far away enough. Gets it now. Very well done, as Xem is now in need of another double bash because he can't get up there himself. Very well done and can continue.
Yeah, this is really concerning for Xem, especially. I actually didn't see how much health the Frankie still has, but Xem has to make a choice, I believe, like whether or not he goes for this pickup or he does the swim in Death Golem. And yeah, Xem is going to choose to use the single bash that he has on this Frankie to be able to get access to Death Golem. And it's not over yet. Xem only has 5 health. He doesn't have the ability to save the game. So here he has to get through this area without taking a death. If he does take a death, he has to spend minutes going all the way back and doing that entire trick over and over again. So is Xem going to risk falling into the water? No, I like this call from Xem. Even though he has enough health to be able to survive that poison swim and get out. Oh no, Clean is on 1 health. They are going to end up opting to go through. But oh man, 2 kill. This is absolutely brutal for Clean.
Yeah, this is very hard choices that need to be done. But fortunately for Xem, there is a teleporter right here, and teleporters are there to, oh no, unfortunately left on the side of Clean, but teleporters luckily refill your health and energy. So very nice on the side of Xem and will be utilized a lot, I can imagine, as yeah, we don't see any skilling into the red tree on the side of Xemsys. So putting off that Ultra Stomp skill a bit longer. Of course, Magnet and Rekindle are very vital skills. They mentioned how before the race how Spirit Light efficiency in the purple tree is very important. But yeah, Muffin, you were saying about the Forlorn teleporter?
Yeah, that's a pickup and a half right there. So the Forlorn teleporter is not great, but oh my goodness, the alt R for Horu. Escape access, that actually might be important later on. So Xem is going to do his best to remember that pickup is indeed there and finds a map stone for his troubles. So he may just opt to keep this map stone, turn it in, and continue onto the right side before doing any left side checks. With Bash is pretty amazing, especially in an area such as Grotto, where we can just utilize Bash to check like pretty much every single pickup. But Zem's going to soon discover that you do actually need some form of wall interaction or air stall to be able to go over there and get down to the mini boss. So I cannot stress enough, especially in expert logic, how incredibly difficult starts like this are for the randomizer itself. It's just simply Bash, as 2Kill mentioned, is the most powerful skill in the randomizer. And using this glitch known as double bash, we can check a large number of pickups just with this skill by itself. So having bash as a start, especially in expert seed, greatly dilutes the probability that there are going to be multitudes of skills to help supplement our early and mid game. We could just find like wall interaction or blue breakage, and that could be it for a while.
Yeah, definitely. I don't believe either of our runner has checked the pickup above Frankie Walk yet, so that could still hold something for them. But Clean also now made it into Moon Grotto, needs to be careful as well not to die before touching that teleporter and being able to save. Yeah, but is aware what he has to do. Very great knowledge from his side, as Xem is teleporting back into Grotto. With, as you mentioned, no wall interaction or blue breakage, needs to utilize that back to start a lot to, gain some height back into that area, because you can only drop down, really.
Yeah, indeed. Clean breathing a sigh of relief, right? Like getting through that segment and finally getting that teleporter. And Xem on the left finds our next skill, which of course is Charge Flame, which is one of the most cursed things that you can actually get for a signless seed. Because we don't have sign, we don't have easy access, but hold the foe 2Kill on the right, finally some quote unquote wall interaction. We are going to get double jump. Oh boy.
Yeah, so as Muffin mentioned, you can use it as wall interaction, because if you touch a wall, and, well, basically you have to go left and right to refresh your double jumps and basically gain wall interaction with that. But, yeah, as you mentioned, the wall interaction blue break is kind of a slow start, and with Bash, they have pretty much everything open to them now. But Xem is struggling to get that pickup, is definitely trying to do so. But not having Oyastol, gets it now, nicely done with that double jump, and Clean using that double jump to go into Blackroot, uses an ability point to skip that cutscene, so he has to be careful. I do believe he needs some save anywheres to trigger the orb that you get in that area, because, that orb is dependent on where Sign is, and guess what? We don't have Sign.
Yeah, definitely a huge breath of relief for Clean, finding an ability cell there. This is important to explain. Without Sign, lots of things in the game get weird, right? We saw the 2 of the starting 4 pickups end up not spawning in, and us having to place saves down and quit and reload just to spawn them in for a split second, right? So, like, that's just the start of the shenanigans. Here in Blackroot Burrows, the orb actually tracks Sign's location, not where Ori actually is. So dropping a save and quitting and reloading is going to allow Cleanfel to get the orb. I think that's how it works. Yeah, there it is. So when you save the game, that decides the new location as to where Sign goes, which allows us to utilize skills like Charge Flame, allows us to trick the orb in order to come over and work with us, yada, yada, yada. And so in Blackroot Burrows, there's some weird properties around the darkness and stuff, but 2Kill Clean just finds wall jump. So we finally can not only touch walls using double jump, but now we can also end up jumping off them as well.
Yeah, definitely makes wall interaction much easier. Maybe not the wall interaction they were hoping for, because Climb has some powerful implications with some other skills. But on the left, we see Xem abusing the double jump wall interaction and getting a skill velocity upgrade. Now his bashes will have a further range than before and be much faster, as the name implies. So that can be used to do some skips on tricks and stuff like that, as he needs to reload to be able to use Charge Flame. More shenanigans happening there.
Yeah, Clean learning a bit by bit about the what decides what is a safe zone and what is not. And so in Blackroot Burrows on the right, having the darkness makes various zones be considered as unsafe. So because of that, the orb is the thing that generates light, which makes them safe. And so Clean not being able to drop a save up there in the darkness is going to have to babysit this orb all the way through Blackroot Burrows. But Xem showing off the flair and the dramatics of the skill velocity by moving this frog around on the left. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I was definitely laughing about this. Ringo, as this red frog is nicknamed, is very much a pain already in the base game. Skill velocity definitely does not improve that, I would imagine, as Xem is doing another reload to use Charge Flame and gets a jump upgrade. Now all of his double jumps are a bit higher, and also his wall jumps once he finds that skill, which I do believe he will. As Clean is making his way through there. It's really a matter of who gets the progression first. Of course, Clean can also make progress towards the bingo goal right now, because he now is in Blackroot Burrows, and I wouldn't think he would skip that map altar, because it is fairly close by, and besides some shenanigans to get around the boulder, it is not really hard to get.
Yeah, Xem doing the classic competitive Ori Rando speedrunning thing, which is just pushing immediately for the objective, whereas Xem is taking a bit more of a holistic approach and trying to round out his resources by going to pick up dense locations, right? He has Bash, he has Double Jump, he has Charge Flame, so he can really make use of a lot of these skills to be able to get around the map, right? So grabbing teleporters, getting many pickups, right, is just going to sort of round out his resources really well for the mid game, right? Because Blackout Bingo means that you're not done until you finish the entire board. So if Xem just has more effective routing with going through just the map overall, right, he might be able to utilize this advantage, especially in the late game over his opponent Clean. Whereas Clean, going for the less pickup dense location first, is going to be the first to widen their bingo board.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what plays out. We have talked about it a bit before the race, but hard bingo, which is the variant they are playing right now, also means that everything just gets multiplied. So, for example, an easy bingo could prompt you to get 5 pickups from health cells, but a hard bingo could prompt you to get 12 pickups from health cells,
right,
for example. So definitely a heads-up play from Xemsys to just grab everything that he can, because it might be a bingo goal. And yeah, they need to be a bit aware, and we just see him use that. Yeah, reloading will definitely be our friend for the foreseeable future right now, as, yeah, Xem is definitely making some progress through the world, as Clean is approaching that mapstone altar, so we will get our first expansion of the bingo board soon.
Yeah, it's great. I really like this approach from Xem, especially because even though Xem can't see the bingo board, he is clearing higher dense areas, right? And we can still make progress on bingo goals, even if we can't see the hexes on the board itself. So the holistic approach, we'll see if that ends up paying off. But on the right, Clean is coming into Boulderscape. Nicely done, glitches out the boulder using a trick known as Save Anywhere, which basically is just a way for us to be able to move around with the ability menu open. And then whenever we level up an ability, it saves the game for us. So saving the game anywhere is a really powerful thing, especially in the Ori 1 randomizer. But here it is. Clean is going to be touching the square, and we will see what this opens up. It looks like Die to Things right Forlorn Laser. So that is good for us. We're going to have to end up finding Stomp for that, though, I believe. Get this pickup, BRB, right Laser, Ability Cell, which Clean can technically do right now. He can go for that if he wants to. And then get pickups from Ability Cells, which Xemsys, having done a more holistic approach, clearing a lot more pickups, is definitely going to have checked more of those.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, for both runners, this is going to look like a bingo board that could take some time. Right, Forlorn Laser, as you mentioned, they have the Forlorn TP, but they do need Stomp to utilize that to get there. Generally speaking, it is more likely that our runners will need those 2 hard locking skills, Stomp and Grenade, than not, because hard bingo tends to prompt you with things that specifically need the skills, as Clean has found a warp to Horror Fields plant. And there is Grenade on Progression Vault, a 4 energy door here in Hollow Grove. And that is definitely a sigh of relief for Xem, I can imagine.
Yeah, that is massive, right? We now have a way to be able to damage things that is not bashing off of them or requiring us to place a save down to be able to utilize charge flame. So having grenade to just literally destroy spores and enemies alone is really nice. But as we can see here, the randomizer is modded in order to remove the energy cost of grenade. So we can spam it without any worry whatsoever. But also, we can bash off of a grenade once before destroying the grenade itself. So this is going to allow us to build a lot of speed horizontally using that skill velocity we saw Xem get early. But also, it's going to allow us to build a lot of height, which is going to be incredibly important later on. But Xem, using a nice job on the left, checking these pickups that are hard locked by grenade. There's no other way for us to get access to these pickups unless we go out of bounds, which is against the rules for the speedrun itself.
Yeah, gets 231 experience, which is an indication that the clean water might be later, but of course that does not mean that our runners don't find it, and it might be that they need it because there are some underwater pickups that would either require a lot of health and energy with invincibility, or just clean water straight up. Xemsys is now also heading into Blackroot, and he will have a much easier time because grenade can simulate the light of the orb in most places, so he will not have to do all the shenanigans Clean had to do.
Yeah, this is really working in Xem's favor. It just shows off how amazing of a play early on, going for that holistic approach of of going to high pickup dense locations that it has an easier time of checking, right? Finding that grenade pickup in Spider Sack area progression vault was absolutely a massive play as well for him, as he is going to find his wall jump pickup. So Xem, making quick work of Blackroot burrows, is going to be able to progress upwards. They are going to have to do some sort of save or save anywhere to be able to... Oh no, they aren't, because they have grenade. Wow. So grenade is going to be able to activate these lanterns, opening up the doors to progress through Blackroot burrows. But we're going to see what Xem ends up doing for placing a save here, as yes, he does know the ledge location, starting the save anywhere, and utilizing the crushers to take a quick death in order to spawn the orb down there before activating the lever to raise the pedestal.
And it looks like we will get some event locations, because Clean has unlocked some more squares on the bingo board. We have get pickups from health cells and visit each event location: Wind Restored, Water Vein, and Sunstone. So Forlorn will be even more important for our this seed.
Yes, all right. Yeah, Forlorn is kind of a meme in the community because the most run goal mode is Force Trees. And so Force Trees is you have to go and activate every single skill location on the map before you can start and finish the final escape. But for the sake of this seed, we don't have to necessarily do the final escape unless it comes up on a bingo square. But Forlorn itself as a dungeon is like the only location on the map that doesn't have a skill tree at it. It doesn't have a tree for that Force Trees objective. But that being said, of course, now we know that Forlorn is indeed incredibly important for the seed, so it is going to be an excellent area for our runners to go to.
Yeah, and with that teleporter they also have relatively quick access to it and can just clear out a lot of it, especially on the side of Xemsys with that bash grenade. It is a very powerful skill set and definitely very potent, especially with the skill velocities that he is having, as he's also now making progress towards that first square, and I wouldn't be surprised if he also continued down towards the second square that Clean already completed.
Yeah, I think another important note to just really highlight is Xem's been working in that red tree to make it to that Ultra Stomp ability, which costs a lot of ability cells, but it's going to open up a part of the map that Clean is not really that close to being able to get access himself. And so Xem is going to utilize this Frankie to open up this door, which is going to get him access to another pickup. And then he is going to go up and see the bingo squares sort of unleashed as he goes up and touches the map altar.
Yep, and Clean is also in Moon Grotto now, doing some cleanup with his Sea Flame, so you see a bunch of reloading there as well. Xemsys is also finding that warp again. I do believe he touched that already. as he's now going to get even more double jumps. Nice. And this pickup that usually is out of the way is just no problem for him. And there's Swamp Teleporter. I do believe he already got that on his way through that area. But definitely good to have that pickup out of your mind. And there is Charge Jump. Oh my god.
Yeah, Charge Jump is amazing. It's normally the last skill you get in a casual playthrough of Ori and the Blind Forest, which is one of the reasons why the randomizer is so fun, right? Like, instead of at the end of the seed or at the end of the speedrun, we get this Charge Jump pickup. Now we get it at, like, the early mid-game-ish portions. I guess we're a lot closer to mid-game, so Xem just getting this really nice skill cleanup. So Charge Jump itself allows us to charge up and be able to get a massive amount of height, but it also gives us some invulnerability as well as dealing 50 damage on a normal attack. And with these jump upgrades, that also increases the overall height that Charge Jump does. But over on the left, Xem going for this incredibly precise trick of using this falling block to be able to sneak past this laser. If we're able to get and stand on a really specific portion of the block, we can end up surfing down on it. And so Xem is just making sure, gets it, nicely done. That's an incredibly difficult trick. So pulling that off in the marathon setting is incredibly impressive to me.
Yeah, and also on the note of Cleanfel just dropping into nothingness right there. Yeah, there are goals that mention that you should die to specific things in the world. So if our runners seemingly randomly die to spikes or die to certain things on the map, that is most likely the thing, because they can't see the goal, but the goal still goes tracked. As yeah, both are back in Grotto. It is the most accessible area for both runners right now, and I do believe that was Ultra Stomp for Xemsys. So there are some new squares there.
Yeah, so we have die to this thing, Saru Spike Maze, which with Saru TP is going to be really easy to get access to, especially because Xem found Charge Jump, which breaks a wall, which is right at the teleporter. So you either need Charge Jump or Stomp to be able to get through that wall. So very nice for Xemsys to see that square show up. And then we also have get pickups from Energy Cells, which Xem is currently at 7 out of 12 for. And then die to each thing, as 2Kill was just explaining. Sunstone Lightning, the Forlorn Void, and the Ginso Escape Frankie. So we are going to be seeing Ginso Escape as well as Forlorn Escape in the seed. I could not be happier, 2Kill.
Yeah, definitely. This will already be a great stream to jam to, because these songs are just so iconic. And yeah, I do believe the Forlorn Void is unfortunately not in the Forlorn Escape, but yeah, we will.
It is not. It's right outside of Forlorn and Valley. So you have to go back out the door, and then there's like a little hole that you fall into.
Yeah. So yeah, we will get at least one banger of music for the seed, as Xem is now at the double jump tree. Since this is limit keys, that means that our Sunstone and Water Vein are. Well, how does it work with shards? I am not too sure. Probably. I am not too sure.
I honestly don't know myself. I've never done limit key shards.
Many specifics.
Yeah.
Normally, limit keys would mean that our Sunstone and Water Vein can only be at certain locations, namely the skill trees and the events. But with the shards being added, I am not too sure. This is very specific, and yeah, our runners basically just went like, oh yeah, what can we add besides what we already have? And this is how we ended up with 10 flags that are just randomly scrambled, as Xem is also now making his way into lower Blackout. This Frankie
Watch this.
never respawns.
So Xemsys is using the increased skill velocity with Bash to try and bring the Frankie through, and he does get the Frankie through with enough health, so we'll see if he gets another attempt at this. He has to bash slightly higher on Ori's angle to be able to move the Frankie through, but it's not over yet. There's one more grouping of spikes to be able to get the Frankie through. Nicely done from Xem, using very specific spacings to be able to control the Frankie's jump height. If the Frankie had touched any of those yellow/green spikes that we see wiggling around on that wall right there, then the Frankie would have died immediately and he would have had to retry this skip. So nicely done from Xem, is going to get down towards this ability cell, which we do know is a square on the map, which we saw Clean get earlier.
Hey, might I jump in just real quick?
Sure.
Hey, everybody. I'm Zarnus, and here with me is Golden Devil. We're the new hosts, and I know these two commentators are doing an excellent job, so we're trying to make this super short. Just hi, we're the new hosts, and we have a donation.
Yeah, we actually have two donations. We have a $10 anonymous donation, and we also have a $50 donation from Sonic X30 GER, who says, "Love and peace, greetings from Germany," and we will let you get back to it.
Wow, thank you folks so much. Yes, please keep those donations coming in. They are going to a great cause. So as we were progressing through, we see Xem on the left is making progress to another tree, utilizing a save anywhere, leveling up an ability to save the game, then quitting to menu after crossing a cutscene trigger allows us to be able to skip that cutscene. So nicely done from Xem. That's one of the longer ones. It's over a minute, I believe. And then meanwhile, on the right, Clean, making sort of similar tree progress, is going to be heading down towards double jump tree. And really, 2Kill, like, honestly, a really big decider so far in this race is just that grenade find from Xem. Xem having that extra horizontal speed going through the map, but also not having to break blue things with Charge Flame.
Yeah, definitely a huge time save for him, as he does not need to manage his energy that well. And wow, with that skill velocity, those bash nades are definitely even more powerful. Also, I've been informed by some people that this is not shards, because limit keys and shards are kind of both key modes and do not interact well with another. So not too sure what the menu is saying right there, but now Xem also has the knowledge about the pickups beside, or the bingo goals beside the BRB right laser AC, and so he also knows what he needs to do, and that Forlorn will be very important to him.
Right. Yeah, and I just got a message from somebody in the community that probably is how it's going to work. Is it sounds like that limit keys is going to trump shards itself. So limit keys is that the dungeon keys will either be on trees themselves or the world events as we go through. But oh my goodness, 2Kill. The Holy Trinity, the Triforce has been completed by Xemsys, and we now have Climb, Grenade, and Charge Jump, which is going to allow us to use a glitch known as grenade jumps, which is doing a charge jump off of a wall by utilizing Climb to hold onto it and then charge jumping off of it, and then throwing a grenade one frame before you touch that jump input. It's going to allow Xemsys to build a metric bunch ton of speed. So finding that in lower Blackroot is an absolutely massive find, especially for Xem, as they are going to be coming down in the Lost Grove. It will be utilized to be able to skip another incredibly long cutscene.
Yeah, definitely huge find. You saw him just repeating that pickup over and over because he's so happy. Also, don't let the water trick you. This is not clean water. It might look like it is clean, but it deals a lot of damage. As does this laser. That death was intentional, because it could be... or is it even? No, it is not a goal that is on the map just yet, but it could be. So he's just making sure to fulfill everything he can as quickly as possible. There's that is a very good warp, getting warped right back to where he was if he decided to go for that. But yeah, with the grenade jump, as mentioned, he can also skip that very long cutscene. Takes 8 years to watch, and also is very sad. So we do not want that. As yeah, he's getting there, and he's turning his movement bonuses off because yeah, you don't want to overshoot. Nice. He needs a very specific angle, gets it first try. Very well done, and has the teleporter right here. So if he ever needs to go back here, I guess he can. I'm not sure if he wants, because the cutscene will play if you don't grenade jump through there, but can continue in the world, and we will see where he decides to go next. And it is Forlorn, so from the beach to the very icy area, as he's making his way to Wind Restored, which is one of the event locations our runners need to visit here.
Yeah, so we're going to see how much of Forlorn Xem actually does. I imagine they're also going to make the play to just go out the entrance in order to die to the void outside of Forlorn, because once again we have die to each thing, Sunstone Lightning, Forlorn Void, Ginso Escape, Frankie. So the Forlorn Void is going to be one of those, as well as this escape sequence that we are going to see Xem end up starting. So nicely done from Xem, just making steady progress. And in the interim, on the right, Clean finding that grenade pickup is going to be very, very nice for them, as they are going to be able to check grenade specifically locked pickups, as well as now have a form of movement that is going to be utilized well with Bash. So we're going to see where our runners go next. I would really love to see a Sorrow play at this point, because we have two, if not more, three things in Sorrow that are all right next to each other, right? Die to the spikes, then we have to go up to Sunstone itself in order to activate it, and then die to the Sunstone Lightning, which is right next to that that event location where we normally get Sunstone. But on the left is going to be attempting to do Forlorn Escape and get his official membership with Team Forlorn by doing this without Glide. So normally these wind currents, we can just hold down Glide in order to be able to get up. But utilizing grenade jumps in particular, we're able to build a metric bunch on a fight. And Xem without Ultra Defense is not going to be able to complete this section. I cannot stress enough how unbelievably difficult this is without Ultra Defense, without Glide, but also without Dash. Oh my goodness, Xem.
There is one thing that could help him out here, but he unfortunately only has 6 energy, which is invincibility, which is very costly if you have it. But he had equipped it, so he can use it as Clean is doing some cleanup. Of course he is. And Xem is making his way through here. And of course this is also very important, because it will allow him to get a hint towards where that Stomp is. And Stomp would possibly be his go mode, because besides that he has everything he needs to get to every single pickup in the game, and Stomp specifically locks some of the squares that could show up, and Stomp is in Sorrow, so indeed you might be right, and he might be heading into Sorrow next.
Yeah, this is a massive hint for Xem, and absolutely massive advantage for them, especially seeing that it's in Sorrow, right? So logical progression is going to expect him to be able to either utilize that open mode to be able to get through Valley and go up to Sorrow, but also just with Sorrow TP and climb charge jump, just this is absolutely in logic to be able to progress through and get into Sorrow this way. So Xem is not only going to make progress on a lot of these tiles, but he is also going to be able to potentially track down Stomp as a skill. And as 2Kill mentioned, if Xem is able to find Stomp, that will allow them to be able to check every single pickup on the map. And in a game mode like Blackout Bingo and Ori 1 Rando, that is just incredibly important advantage to have as early in the seed as possible.
Yeah, definitely. He then can just go ham at everything. There's another intentional death to the lightning right there, as Clean is kind of just picking up everything that Xem already has. So definitely Xem in the driver's seat of this race, and with what he has, I would expect with his knowledge to just run away at this point, because Clean is fairly behind on skills and knowledge. He luckily has also completed these same squares, not anymore as Xem, because he just got Sunstone, and we got our next thing, which is vanilla Sunstone for once, and also we have activate each spirit well, Moon Grotto, Hollow Grove, and Fallen Ruins. Only Hollow Grove missing for Xem, and we saw him skip that earlier because that cutscene is very long.
Yeah, indeed it is. And so Xem is going to be taking another intentional death here to the spikes to be able to activate their quest for the bingo square itself, but also is going to be doing a lot of these damage boosts through this area to be able to try and check some additional pickups. And so utilizing those extra double jumps and invincibility to be able to get all the way over here to this keystone. And nope, it's just experience. And the reason why Xem is being this thorough in Sorrow especially is because we know Stomp is here, right? And so Stomp is going to be an absolutely important thing for Xem to be able to track down, and they are doing an excellent job here. Oh, just barely does not have that full energy cell, so invincibility does not trigger for Xem, so they are going to have to potentially try again in order to check one more pickup here in Sorrow before heading deeper into the area itself.
Yeah, definitely great use of that bonus skill. You can see him turning that off and on, which is very nice to have, but he's only on 3 HP, getting back up with the health right now to maybe damage boost some more, as Clean is in Swamp. Without that Stomp and without that Climb C-Jump, has to be a bit creative about how to go around, but uses that projectile to break the floor. And Xem has mentioned that there is this nice square of break every single floor or ceiling in the game, and this is a floor or ceiling that might need to be broken, so... there would be another one that would be quite annoying. Oh, I think he already broke it, actually, because that charge jump makes it relatively easy, as Xem is still trying to get that pickup. It is, as you can see, very hard to get, but now gets up there, and it is a keystone.
All right, so Xem is going to be traveling further down in Sorrow, and Clean on the right is coming into Sorrow as well, but Clean doesn't have Climb, so they are not going to be able to work through this dungeon in as easy of a fashion as we saw Xem continue to work through it. But Clean on the right, taking the Spider Shot all the way over, doesn't have Stomp either, so they don't have the ability to break this floor without Climb, Charge Jump, or Stomp, but nicely done, takes the Spider Shot all the way down, breaks that floor, and they are going to be able to make progress over to the tree. And meanwhile, Zeb on the left, utilizing that grenade jump with the jump grades to be able to build a massive amount of speed. Nicely done from Zem, nailing that frame perfect trick just over and over again. Absolutely shows off his expertise as he's working through the seed.
Yeah, and there's warmth returned on the side of Cleanfel. There's absolutely nothing besides keeping us cozy. Does not work towards the goal of getting that or getting to that event location, because it's the location that counts and not the pickup. So not quite as useful to him, but he is making his way to the tree, and I do believe that Xem hasn't been there yet, although I'm not sure about that, as there are some trees on the side of Clean, nothing on that tree specifically, as Xem still hasn't found that Stomp, so it seems to be either there, or it could be really trolly and it just could be on Kuro's
perch there, yeah.
Which would be very funny.
Yeah, that would be really, really funny. So a bit of an update here for the race overall. Actually, hold the phone on that. We are going to have a bunch of squares just be opened up currently. So get pickups from Mapstone Fragments 5 of 8, which both of our runners have access to that square. Open the purple door in R2, which is in Mount Horu itself in that dungeon. So that's going to be one of the upper right rooms. Then we also have Activate Spear Wells, 8 of 9. And our runners have activated a very large number of those. And with Stomp especially, we are going to be able to do more of those as well, or we could just save that for Horu a bit later. Then getting pickups from Health Cells, we're at 7 out of 11 for Xemsys, I believe, compared to Cleanfel, who has 9 out of 11 on that. So Clean doing nice work up on that. But neither of our runners have died from the 4-1 laser yet. We still have some extra energy cells, as well as Xemsys needing to activate Spirit Wells.
Yep. I do believe that... Xem is in the lead in terms of squares, having completed 7 out of the 25. And Clean currently is on 6 out of 25. He has already activated the 3 Spirit Wells, where Xem still needs the Growth TP. But Xem juggling his favorite thing in the game, a Tumbleweed. So definitely... Oh, is he setting up for a Tumble Warp? Or is that just some double bashing on that Tumbleweed? He tried to explain to me before the race how that works. But yeah, I do think that both kind of joked around that whoever got a Tumble Warp first actually won, so Xem might just try to do that. And if it happens, just know magic is happening. A slime needs to shoot that Tumbleweed, and then, yeah, there you go.
Wow, very nicely done from Zem to be able to utilize that glitch that they really did pioneer a lot of strats for in order to be able to get quicker access to Mount Horu itself. So very nominative of Zem, just showing off his expertise not only with Bingo and the Randomizer, but also with these niche glitches within the community itself. So very nicely done from Xem. And Xem, going to be the first to travel into Mount Horu itself, is going to be working through the beginning sort of 4 pickups. And you're going to notice that the lava isn't here, where normally you have to go through all of the rooms on the right and then all of the rooms on the left before the lava disappears. The randomizer is just specifically modded to be able to not have the lava in order to increase the variance of where things can be.
Yeah, so definitely not all the rooms will be cleared, just the ones that we have to do. There are goals that state which rooms you need to complete or how many rooms you need to complete. So maybe we need to complete all 8. I'm not sure if that is a goal, as Clean is kind of hesitant about where to go. I'm not quite sure where that went, but Xem is definitely making progress. Needs to open the second door right here, and with Stomp, he can abuse the fact that they respawn once you go out of the way. So yeah, definitely very well done. Needs to just bash Nate back and forth as Clean is now clearing out Forlorn, maybe looking for that Stomp, just hoping to find it here. As yeah, he will also go towards the escape, I would assume, and find his Stomp hint as well, maybe, or maybe he hopes for Glide before that and does not want to join Team Forlorn, as Xem is making his way to R1, which is the first room on the right.
Yeah, I mean, Forlorn Escape is really great in general because we're also playing on limit keys, so there's a chance that a dungeon key could be located there. So we still need to track down Watervein to be able to get access to Ginso itself. So very nice play from Clean. We're going to see if he is comfortable with doing Glideless Forlorn Escape. I mean, knowing the caliber of runner that Clean is, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it, maybe to potentially track down that Stomp. But as 2Kill mentioned, like, how much is Clean going to value that Stomp hint itself? So on the right, we'll see. But that being said, as we see Xem working through R1 in Horu, which is the top right room, and Cleanfel on the right, entering Forlorn Escape, are there any donations that you folks have to read for us for Bingothon?
Yes, we do indeed.
Oh, great.
Have one. So we got $30 here by Laylinks saying, as humans, we should stand together and help those who are in difficult situations because of external events. Keep up the good work and greetings to the German Restream. On this point, shout out to the German Restream. Thank you so much for restreaming this event. And remember, every donation counts. And if you can see on the lower half of the stream, we are very, very close to the 1,000 milestone here.
Wow.
We currently have $961, and I am super confident that we can very easily reach $1,000 before the end of this, I have to say, super amazing run or race rather. I'm confident we can get there. And yeah, it's all for a good cause. All of your donations 100% will go directly towards the charity. And yeah.
Excellent. Wow, thank you so much for that donation. Yeah, just to reiterate, folks, every little bit helps. So even if you can only donate just a little bit, that little bit is going towards a great cause and is absolutely going to be helping some people in need. So please keep those donations coming in. And thank you so much to everybody who has supported the cause so far. But that being said, as we're going through, we're going to see Xem just start to go down, all the way down to the teleporter, grabbing that Horu teleporter itself. As Clean, I believe, did not do Forlorn Escape, so we did not get that Stomp hit for Clean that it is indeed in sorrow. So Clean instead is going to be making a play here on the right for Bally Long Swim. I actually don't know if they have enough health to do this. It needs some ridiculous amount of health to be able to go through. Yeah. So either getting Ultra Defense, which cuts poison water damage in half, as well as some other damage reductions from other sources. Without that, it takes a very large number of health cells to be able to get through.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I do not believe he has the energy to use invincibility as well. But Xem on the left is making more progress towards completing the bingo. Got that health cell that he needed to collect, and I do believe that unlocked something as well. I just need to find it on the bingo board. Yeah, and it is visit this tree, glide, and yeah, with open mode, this is definitely accessible from Sorrow Pass as well, and will also grant him his last Spirit Well. What am I talking about? He already has 9 out of 9. But yeah, he will go there. And our runners have decided beforehand that there is one specific glitch that they are allowed to do that would normally not be allowed. If there is a square that says do fast stompless, which is possible, they are allowed to use a glitch to respawn those rocks, because otherwise you just can't complete the bingo anymore. As he is picking up his glide quote unquote tree. It's just a feather. But with that, he also got his water vein, so there it is.
Yeah, water vein's massive, right? Because Ginso Teleporter is actually not in the pool of items that we can end up tracking down. So water vein is absolutely required. And we see so many of these squares coming into play that are going to require, especially like a very thorough doing of Ginso Tree itself. So we have both escape each dungeon, Ginso Tree, Mount Horu, Four Lord Ruins, as well as ending up getting the event location Clean Water, which is at the end of Ginso Escape. So Ginso Escape covers 2 squares for our runners pretty much, and that's going to be incredibly important. We do see Xem coming into Misty Woods because we do have the square in the bottom left of the tree that only Xem can see so far, which is visit each tree, climb, double jump, charge, jump, and grenade. And this will be the last tree that Xem needs to be able to clear out the square. But I can't mention enough, folks, like we are 2/3 of the way through the time interval for the seed itself, as Clean on the right finds that climb, pick up, and lower BRB. But also, like, bingo just rapidly accelerates as you get into the seed, right? The more skills we get, but also the progress on many of these resource-dependent squares. Our runners are 19 out of 24 on the ability cells for Xem, 6 out of 8 for Mapstone Fragments, 9 out of 12. Those squares are just going to be finishing very, very, very fast. So even though it feels like we only have half an hour left in the seed, Xem is just going to be making very fast work as the board is going to fill out very rapidly.
Yeah, and I do believe you yourself have done a lot of 100% seeds.
Yes.
So, like, 100%ing a seed usually takes about 1.5 hours, and since we don't need to 100% it, and never mind, we have Horror Teleporter in the pool, actually, which means that Ginso Teleporter is also in there. But yeah, that will mean that our runners can go there very quickly, and that skill velocity will just speed that up. Those grenade jumps that Xemsys has just will speed that up, and he will go through the last part of that. No, maybe not. Because you could technically be required to get Gumon Seal, because that could be a bingo card. Maybe he decides that there are already enough event locations on the board that this might not come into play, as Clean is now out of Lost Grove again, so hopefully does not need to get that teleporter ever.
Right, indeed. And so we see Xem actually intentionally killing some enemies, and this is specifically for Spirit Light, because there is a square that could pop up that is like, get a bajillion Spirit Light. And so absolutely just killing those swarm enemies, because they give a metric bunch ton, especially with the Spirit Light efficiency that we saw Xem level up earlier as an ability, doubling the set experience that they get in conjunction with some earlier abilities in that purple tree. But Xem stomping some pegs, because that is going to be 5D for the square, which is stomp 8 pegs, and Xem only has 1 more peg that they will have to track down and stomp, which they will take care of immediately before potentially heading into Ginso Tree.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he stomped both pegs, because technically those pegs could also show up as specific things. No, never mind. Is going back out as Clean is making progress off Horu Fields, the area approaching Horu. And Xem, setting up for some more grenade jumps, knows his angles very well, and is making progress off that. And it looks like he is heading for Ginso Tree, so we will get some Ginso escape action fairly soon on his side.
Yeah, going to be checking this one more ability cell, because it is a quote-unquote ability cell pickup, and there is the Spirit Light efficiency pickup. So it is both an ability and a pickup in this game. And yes, that doubling effect on Spirit Light itself, which is the resource we spend to be able to get level ups, is indeed going to stack. So now we are receiving quadruple experience. Very nice find for Xem, but it comes very late in the seed, so the effectiveness is not quite as sharp as it could be in other seeds prior. But Clean on the right is going to continue through Horu that we saw Xem do already, going to be doing their R2 and R1 rooms, I imagine. But Xem is going to come into Ginso Tree, which is one of the more vertical dungeons, but also it is actually going to have a single energy cell pickup in it, which is going to be the square 3D over, like in the middle, slightly to the right there, which Xem currently has 9 out of 12 energy cells in total.
Yeah, those pickups and knowing where that you can find them and where to access them very easily is definitely also something that Xemsys is aware. And there was a mini boss, I believe, somewhere on the screen.
Where? What?
I am not too sure, but that is a purple door, and yeah, I think we now see everything on the board on the side of Xemsys, and open each purple door is a thing. Unfortunately, the Ginso mini boss is not there, but there is the Horu final mini boss and the Stomp area Rhino. And we saw Clean already went to the Stomp tree, but he didn't have Stomp to activate that fight scene. So yeah, he needs to find that to be able to get there, as well as for some other things as he's clearing out Horu, which could hold something maybe, because they can go there. Never mind, there's Glide. Maybe what Clean was looking for. Ooh, that does not look good for Clean.
Yeah, I just have to appreciate this clean, this place for clean water. I mean, not clean water, Glide itself, right? Because Water Vein was on the Kuro perch itself, and in the base game, that is normally what gets you Glide, and so Glide gated by the place where you normally get Glide in the game. But wow, what a find from Xem, not having to open that second door there to be able to get access to Ginso Escape, is going to be using that warp location to be able to go through. Intentionally damaging on these spikes here is now going to come down to this Frankie, which is a tile to die to this one specific enemy itself. So Xem taking care of that right there, and then is going to be warping back into Ginso Escape in order to be able to complete the escape and make progress onto 2 tiles itself.
And there's Gumon Seal. We saw some discoloration because Xem has skilled Sense, has also gotten this Ginso teleporter thanks to that, which is not very useful, but good to know, and also means that Clean will not get that because yeah, Clean was already there without Stomp, so oof. This definitely turns out to be quite unfortunate for Clean, and Xem definitely has a very big lead right now. Just needs to finish those squares, and as you mentioned, with all the skills he has, that shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, it's good. Clean's doing a great job. He's coming down into Lower Valley. He's going to be grabbing this Mapstone fragment because it is a square on the bingo board itself. So being able to grab that map fragment, nicely done, finds an ability cell as well. Ability cell is one of the most powerful resources, especially in the randomizer, as we've seen our runners utilizing that save anywhere tech and leveling through. Meanwhile, on the left, Xem is going to be going for some zoomies, nailing that frame perfect timing window to nail the grenade jump in order to get a bunch of speed, bunch of height to be able to grab that ability cell pickup, making progress on that square as well. And so we are going to be rapidly blitzing through these last squares. Xem still has 9 squares to go, but a lot of them are just going to be finished out incredibly quickly.
Yeah, and Clean definitely making the best of the skills he currently has tried. I think he's trying to track down Logic and where he's supposed to get the next skill. Unfortunately to him, it is on the Glide pickup with the Wind Restore, with the open mode they are playing. Glide is relatively easy to obtain. But yeah, of course, Rando just means that everything is randomized, and if you don't know where to look, then that can be quite a problem. As yeah, there's one more health cell and the growth teleporter, so he does not need to activate that anymore. As yeah, he's just making sure to grab everything he can. One more health cell, and I do believe that is complete as well now. As no, one more still needed. 2 more mapstone fragments, 1 energy cell, 4 ability cells on his side charge jump tree because he never went that way in Sorrow, and the Horror final mini boss and the Forlorn Void. And that will be it for him. So yeah, rapidly approaching the end of his seed, as Clean is now in the vicinity of where we know Water Vein is, and hopefully that will prompt him to go into Ginso Tree.
Yeah, indeed. And so over there, Clean is going to opt to work his way into Sorrow itself, into the front entrance, to check some pickups. There is this ability cell pickup here, and then I imagine, no, he is going to continue on. So putting off grabbing that there, breaking the rocks. So Clean not going to be finding Water Vein quite yet, but Xem on the left is going to be heading over here for this ability cell pickup. Boom, he gets it, and there is Clean Water. Oh my goodness. That is such a rude place for Clean Water to be, because it is gated by either climb, charge, jump, or stomp itself. So very nicely done from Xem to be able to track that down. That is now going to cause the water to no longer deal damage to our runners. And Xem, their sense is going off, which is a hot and cold indicator ability that we pick up to find something important. It is a teleporter for the outer swamp ability cell. Not useful to Xem because they've already full cleared that area. So Xem is going to be coming back to this area here and heading down into Valley Long Swim, opening the door now.
Yeah, that is an energy cell, and one of the ones he's missed so far, I do believe, as Clean is making his way without glide. This area is very scary, but he's making a good job of navigating it, using the jump grades to gain some more height and the skill velocity to just zoom around as he's opening that lever. And Xem with that Clean Water definitely has no problem getting through that Valley Long Swim. We saw Clean struggling there, but Xem is making quick work, as Clean is also getting a lot of pickups, gets another mapstone. Does not seem like this seed is mapstone progression, so lucky for our runners probably, as Xem was actually sensing this wind restored that Clean got. And there is the stomp on the side of Clean. Will be very happy to see that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Clean on the right is going to be going for this incredibly difficult jump sequence. Gets up the spike jump first try. I cannot stress how unbelievably difficult that is, because the spikes back boost you off, and it's a teeny tiny little platform that you can land on to not jump and get stuck on the spikes itself. So nicely done from Clean. Getting up there is very, very difficult with the skill set that he currently has. But on the left, Xem is going to be coming through, potentially, baiting the Baneling to be able to grab this mapstone fragment, which is going to allow him to progress in that square. And Xem really going to be quickly finishing up a lot of these tiles. I imagine that they are mere minutes away from being able to finish the entire board for themselves. They only really have to end up escaping Mount Horu. They've already done Forlorn Escape. They've done Ginso Escape. Right, and then they have to just open some purple doors and then visit the charge jump tree, as well as die to the Forlorn Void. I think that's the last one Xem hasn't done yet, and that's really going to be it for Xem. So very quick cleanup here, only 4 squares away from being able to finish out, and most of those squares are pretty much completely done at this point.
Yeah, and with the skills Clean has, I wouldn't imagine him taking too long either, because he pretty much has the same skill set besides besides climb, I believe, and glide, because that was in Ginso. But with the charge jump and the bash grenades, and the stomp, he can do pretty much everything. Just needs to wait for some lasers, because these lasers are instant kill. As Xemsys is now teleporting back into Sorrow, will get his last tree at the charge jump tree that he needs to get. And after that, he just needs to go to Horu, fight the final minute boss, defeat it, and then escape the big angry burp, and then he is done. And there's Sense again, and cozy.
Okay, but that being said, are there any donations that we have to read? This is a pretty good time, as Xem is just going to continue their cleanup.
Yes, we just got a $30 donation from InstaFez, who says,
Great.
Some pretty good prizes as usual. Glad to be back for another. Really happy about this cause. And as everyone can see, we are $9 away from hitting $1,000 for Project Hope. So hopefully we'll be able to hit that soon. There are also some upcoming bids coming for the Twilight Princess randomizer, so keep your eyes posted.
All right, I believe you, Twitch chat. We've got $9 somewhere in there in Twitch chat, right? I believe in you, Twitch chat. You can do this. Come on, let's hit 1,000 before this run, and that would be really hype. I know Clean and Xem are incredibly excited to be racing for this charity here today, and so it would be an honor to be able to close out that benchmark for our runners. So, hosts, just let us know when we hit that, if we do, before the run ends for Clean, as Xem is just going to be coming into the Mount Horu, heading to the final escape. And it's very iconic that this is the end of the run in a standard randomizer setting, right? Whether it's World Tour or Force Trees, whatever goal mode that you end up running. For Bingo itself, Xem saved it for the end. No dash, no sign, but no problem. Xem is going to be making quick work as we see 1,000 experience on the final escape itself.
Yeah, that is definitely an XP amount you don't see too often, the final escape. Holding that last pickup as Xem is doing some shenanigans to go through here. Does not need to do that, but wants to show off maybe, or possibly forgetting that skills exist. It's very easy to forget that skills exist in this randomizer. And Clean is making work of Misty, but now with the clean water, Xem on the left has absolutely no problem going here, and we will see if he goes for the final grenade jump. If he does so, he definitely needs to turn off his skill velocities, otherwise he will soft lock, but he does not need to do that grenade jump. Yep, and it looks like he is toggling his movement bonuses and setting up.
The foe.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's okay. So there, Xem just accidentally bonked on a tree branch. Normally, we see Ori sort of skip hop through, and it would skip a walking section that we have to do with Ori itself, or allows us to start the walking section earlier, while the cutscene is playing through. But that's okay. Xem just has to wait an additional 30-something, maybe 40 seconds before they are able to go into the final thing. So time is going to be coming up for Xem.
Quickly interrupting you because time was already with him completing the run. Since they do not need to complete the final escape, it's just once you have your since you have escaped it already,
right.
He is already there. And there's bonus skill number 5, warp to credits. He's already done and is warping there. So yeah, thanks to the developers of the randomizer, Eiko, Mel, and Wulajin. Great work. Such a great randomizer. Very much enjoyable race. GG to Xem on that note.
Right, so Xem is going to be finished with the seed, and Cleanfel currently at 16 out of 25 squares. They're going to be making quick work, because as we mentioned in Bingo, right, once we get this major skill window, right, Clean has everything except for dash, which is unfortunate, because because it's one of the other skills that drastically decreases the amount of time that seeds end up taking. But Clean progress of the rest of the squares, because we have very high progression on a lot of these for Clean so far, and it's just a matter of tracking down these final sort of one-off locations to be able to just blitz through the rest of the objectives.
Yeah, with all the skills, I wouldn't be surprised if he only took maybe 15-20 more minutes, depending on what he decides to route right here. It should be fairly quick, and you can see him avoiding those lasers and just getting sense as well now. Unfortunately, nothing to sense here. He would need to go into Ginso to find some more stuff. But yeah, gets the warp and gets obliterated by a bird. But I'm sure he will get to the grenade tree fairly soon.
Yeah, nicely done getting past there. Doing a trick known as a zombie Ori, which is when you die, if you end up saving the game during that death, that will actually end up causing you to be able to respawn with 0 health. Because being on 0 health doesn't actually cause you to take a death. It's actually 0 health and having procced a damage from a source to cause us to activate that death animation itself. So nicely done, nice knowledge of the glitches, especially useful in the randomizer itself. So Clean now is going to be heading to that swamp teleporter, I imagine, to go up into Ginso Tree in order to be able to get access to escape. We'll see if they use that same warp that we saw in Upper Ginso to be able to get past that 4 key door without having to spend the keystones, as well as taking down a mini boss to be able to get access to the escape.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I do believe we have one more donation, if I'm not mistaken.
We do.
Oh, great.
Go ahead, Cyrus.
No, please go. I'm very excited for this. Please read.
Yeah. So, well, we're up.
We didn't coordinate between us, like who's gonna read it, but. Yeah, anyway, we got $8 from the DM Panda saying, "This is all that's left of my bamboo fund, but I know it can be better used. By the way, pet the doggo." And yeah, with that, we're currently at $999. So we're just missing one more dollar for the 1,000 milestone. So,
does anybody have 4 quarters in their pocket? Do they have that single dollar bill somewhere, maybe hidden in a winter coat that you're no longer using?
Who wants to have the honor to bringing us to $1,000 raised for Project Hope here?
Just check under your couch cushion. Someone's got a dollar.
Someone, maybe the monster under your bed has the dollar. All right, Clean. Yeah. It's going to be warping back to Swamp. We're going to see where they go from here to kill.
Yeah, I can imagine he will go into Ginso Tree because there are some goals to fulfill there. And it looks like he's indeed going to the right, so we will head into that dungeon once more. We saw it from Xemsys. It held some incredible stuff, and Clean will definitely be also happy to complete this and do the escape and die and everything. So just enjoy this vertical dungeon with all the skills that he has and the skill velocities. We could just... What is this room? This isn't even hard right now. What is this?
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Great skill execution, utilizing his skills as a human being and the ones that he found in this video game to be able to get through nice and swiftly. Going to be taking up this shot. Normally, we're supposed to end up using 1 to 2 of these redirect blocks to be able to utilize the shot. Bashing the projectile into the block saves just a very small number of frames because it slightly warps the shot a little bit further forward. So just clear knowledge and execution from Clean, very much showing why he was absolutely, definitely not only in contention, but walking away as the most recent randomizer tournament as the champion itself. So very nicely done from Clean. Works through Ginso Tree itself.
Yeah, watching those 2 runners is just a treat every day of the week. And getting some nice overlap of the animation on the tree and can now go further up, and Sense will trigger soon. Gonna
find his glide pickup. We're gonna see if Clean does any mouse cursor movements to show how happy they are to see glide, but no, just stoic as ever. It's like, yeah, of course glide is there. We had to do glide. We had to potentially do Forlorn Escape without glide, but I can't remember if Clean has actually done Forlorn Escape or not to kill. But no, Clean is also just not going to find that warp pickup. So they are going to be taking down this mini boss and clearing around the corruption around the escape sequence before starting it.
So a bit of time loss because he wanted to save time by not picking that up, which normally is optimal. Like, normally not getting that when you are in go mode is definitely the wise choice. But one instance, it of course would have saved him time, as he is now destroying those brambles, which is the other possible soft block you can do in this bingo on hard mode. But fortunately, it is not on the bingo board to destroy both brambles at the same time. So he can just destroy them with Stomp. Not quite the casual way, but at least more resembling the casual way, as we now get some escape action and some actual escape happening and not just some warping to the end.
Yeah, so 2 funny things about this escape for Clean is that he's going to have to do it twice opting to not utilize the save anywhere, but he's going to have to take a lot of damage, which is difficult because the escape has rubber banding with this water here. So if he takes too long to get damage, he just will instantly die if he gets too deep in the water, as we just saw there. So Clean is just going to have to really try and get through and take damage evenly as he goes through the escape without losing too much time to take the instant death from the water. But maybe just not wanting to use Bash or just forgetting that he has Bash, which was the first skill we found in the seed, before progressing on as they go through the escape to die to the Frankie later on, which is a bingo square.
I do believe that Frankie also does the trick, but I'm not too sure because there are a lot of Frankies in this escape. But it looks like... Oh! I am not too sure if that counts. I can't find the thing on
Yeah,
the
I'm looking
map.
for the square.
Yes, same. It is fairly hard, easy to miss. Ginza Escape Frankie has been completed by him already, so
Great.
it looks like it counted. So that is good news to him. So can now go on and clean the waters in the vanilla game. Here, I do believe it was just some XP. I am not quite sure. As he is making his way through this escape with the iconic music, Gareth Coker doing a great job here on the entire soundtrack. So just some more bashes and he is through. And there was the Gumon seal, of course. There was as there's the Ginso teleporter as well for Clean. He now just needs to go back to defeat the mini boss. That is next to Stomp Tree. And then he can go on. I do believe he has to open the R2 purple door still. He has to stomp some more pegs. And I do believe that's it for him as well. So he will be finishing fairly soon as well.
Yeah, only 5 more squares and have like one thing that needs to be done on it, right? Stomping one single peg, right? Going to open that last purple door, which is in the Horu final mini boss, which is right next to the teleporter itself. So this is going to be a very, very, very rapid sort of finish for the seed for Clean, and they are going to head over here back into Forlorn to go back to the escape sequence itself. So even though they ended up starting it earlier, I believe, to check the world event, the escape is still doable. They just end up having to get high enough to be able to toggle the randomizer to restart the escape. And this was actually a recent development, like recent as in within the past like year or two, how this to be modded in. So major shout outs, right? Like the randomizer for this game, as well as Bingo, was a community feature that was done completely free of cost, and like the servers and everything are just run by the community. So if you are interested in trying out the randomizer yourself, it is free for everybody. Just go to orirando.com, all lowercase, no spaces or anything like that, orirando.com, and we have a casual difficulty, so you don't even need to be a speedrunner. You don't need to do all these really incredible, call it knowledgeable tricks from Xem and Clean performance. So very, very cannot suggest it enough. And this can be really amazing. So if you get stuck, if you have questions, we have a Discord for the speedrunning community and the randomizer, and everybody is super friendly and super.
Yeah, this community is absolutely amazing. So definitely, the link is also on the website. So very hard to miss, as Clean is back in Mount Horror now, just needs to complete some goals here and there, and then can also finish with the escape probably.
Yeah, so Clean is going to be heading up. They are going all the way up over to this map pedestal to turn in the map stone, just to see what's going on in there. And then they are going to be moving up over here to L1, which is going to have a stompable peg for them, as well as just being a dungeon room within Horu itself. And then, as Tukel mentioned, just taking down the Horu final mini boss, and then also going and doing the final escape, I believe is going to be it for Clean.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
R2.
Yeah.
R2 as well.
Still some goals to complete in this final dungeon, but as you mentioned before, very fitting to finish this bingo board in the final dungeon and on the final escape. Just some very nice closure. We started in the starting area and finished in the end area. We didn't get to see any of the lore. If you haven't played Ori casually, definitely do. Great game. And if you enjoy it, then the randomizer welcomes you very nicely. We have some beginner-friendly seats and everything. Yeah, but Muffin has explained that in depth already. So yeah, Clean can now decide to do some shenanigans as Xem did before, but no, it looks like he will do the semi-intended way of bashing the projectiles back into where they came from to destroy these and open the purple door. So can now go up there and well, I don't think he even needs to do anything here besides having that open, so can just go back out. And I do believe he just needs to fight that final mini boss. Never mind, he still needs to stomp that peg, and then he is good to go, I believe. So almost there for him as well.
Yeah, this is going to be wrapping up incredibly quickly. Like, this is going to take Clean most likely just a minute about before they are going to be dunning itself. And it was really, really funny. Before our runners started the seed itself, they had this agreement that the seed could be absolutely horrific and horrendous, like even worse than it actually was for our runners. Like doing Frankie Walk through Death Gauntlet to be able to get access to the next location in Logic without sign, without like anything else. And now we see Clean is going to be finishing underestimate, right? So our runners agreed, right? If they're like, if we don't finish underestimate, we're just going to have whoever completed more squares be the quote unquote winner for the race today. But both of the runners being able to close underestimate with a seed like this, no dash, right? And that rough start to kill. I am just so beside myself and impressed with both of these runners.
Yeah, definitely both putting on a great show, showing incredibly hard tricks and still finishing underestimate, which, like, for a randomizer can be very hard if you have the wrong seed. And this could have very well turned out to be a wrong seed for any more less experienced runner, but both showing off greatly here as Cleanfel is finishing off fairly soon, just needs to go here. I am not too sure what time warp even does, but it is a thing apparently. And he will now go through those rooms. I'm not too sure if he has the clean water actually. But with that invincibility, this is absolutely no problem. He's even draining his energy to go through there. Invincibility does allow you to not take any damage, as he is now changing to toggle the movement bonuses off to also try his luck at his grenade jump, so maybe he gets it to show that off as the last thing in this run. And it seems like he got a GG to him. Very well done. 128.05, so barely underestimate, but definitely gonna be happy about that.
All right, GG from both of our runners. And I believe just because we finished pretty close to estimate, we're probably just not going to bring our runners in for an interview. But that being said, my screen name is Covert Muffin, and joining me on comms is 2Kill. 2Kill, thank you so much for joining me for this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was an absolute pleasure to see, so thanks for having me as well.
Yep, make sure to give both of the runners a follow. Their Twitch screen names are just as they see: Xemsys, Zemsys, as well as Cleanfel, Cleanfel. And once again, I was Covert Muffin with 2Kill. Thank you so much, Bingothon, for having the Ori and the Blind Forest speedrun community be able to feature off Bingo at your marathon once again. And we hope you enjoy the rest of the marathon. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Covert Muffin and 2Kill, for the really great commentary. And again, thank you to the runners. We did hit 1,000 if you were paying attention.
Wow.
So we've got 2 donations to read. We have a $1 donation from the aptly named $1 guy.
Right, and we also got another $1 donation by Guard, just saying hello. And this brings us to $1,001. So thank you everybody so much for helping us raise money here for Project Hope. And as Golden Devil already said, thank you so much for Covert Muffin and 2Kill for this awesome commentary, and obviously the two runners for the amazing showcase of the randomizer. And we're going to head into a short break now. And if I had the schedule up right now, I could tell you what's up next, but I don't. So
I've got it up, so I can tell you. It is a Sonic Adventure DX Knuckles Story Blackout Bingo.
There you go. Thank you very much. That's why two hosts are on the stage and not one. And yeah, so see you guys in a bit.
Hello, everyone. We will be back with the next run, which is the Sonic Adventure run, coming up shortly. But before that, we wanted to make sure to remind everyone that Bingothon is raising money for Project Hope. Due to the situation in Ukraine, there's widespread shortages in medicine and food, as well as medical supplies for hospitals and other facilities. And Project Hope helps by shipping these essential supplies to affected areas to help the people who are affected. It's a really great cause. They do great work, not just in Ukraine, but all around the world. So really hope you'll donate.
Yeah. And maybe to give you a little bit more incentive to donate, we can quickly talk about some upcoming bid wars / incentives. Haha, see what I did there? For example, the next one would be The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Randomizer, where there is a Stellord skip, and that is currently at $60 out of 150. So 90 more to go on that one. And just a favorite of mine that is coming up quite a while later. It's going to be the Hades weapon bid war. Hades is an absolutely fantastic game that I really enjoyed playing. And you guys, with your money, you can decide which weapon the runner will speedrun. Currently in the lead are the fists with $5. And all the other weapons are currently behind with, sadly, $0 so far. So with just a simple $6, you can currently be in the leading position with what weapon you'd like to start. Maybe you're a fan of the bow or the shield. Shield is one of my personal favorites. A cool weapon. But obviously the choice is all yours. Chat. You can decide with your money. And obviously, as just mentioned by Golden Devil, all of your donations go towards charity for a good cause. 100% all of it. And that's pretty great, I'd say.
Yeah, we also have the file name bid war for Jade Cocoon, which is a couple runs away, but not too far off. And so you can bid for that. And we also have a number of great prizes, including a copy of Elden Ring, Overcooked All You Can Eat from our friends at Team 17, Game Pack from Team 17, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and Stardew Valley plus Fez. So there are a number of great prizes you can win if you donate. There is a minimum donation for all of them, but it's less than the price of all these games. So it's really yet another incentive to donate to this great cause.
Absolutely true. And here, I just want to quickly let you all know that even though that we just reached the milestone of $1,000, and we're currently sitting at this very, very lovely number of $1,001, which looks just very satisfying to look at. But I encourage you, or rather I implore you to destroy this number and make it wild, make it seemingly random numbers. I know it looks very nice, but obviously the goal here is charity. So eventually we have to ruin this perfectly symmetrical, okay, it's not symmetrical, but like
Palindrome?
I mean, we unfortunately have to destroy it at some point. So I guess the sooner we do that, the better. And we can obviously create some more lovely looking numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. Or obviously, if we're really fetching it far, we can maybe reach 2,000 or logically $2,002. And so please help us, everybody, to reach all of these lovely looking numbers and all the not so lovely looking numbers in between. Obviously, it's for a good cause. Every dollar counts, as you can probably imagine in these trying times. And
Yeah, and it looks like the runners and tech are set up for the next run. So I think we're ready to transition over to the Sonic Adventure DX Knuckles Story Blackout Bingo match. Which is being run by Seafood. Just waiting on our fearless leader Floha to confirm. But I think they're ready to transition over.